Welcome everybody, my name is Marie Meow. I am a social worker at the Hoag Cancer Institute, as well as the Expressive Arts Program Coordinator. Today we are working on a birdhouse project called Time to Nest, and we hope that you can enjoy this in the comfort of your home. We hope that you can invite your caregivers, your support system, and we also have a kit list so that you can purchase them online. We hope that you enjoy your time today. Here at Hoag, we have a lot of programs within our Expressive Arts program, and Artistic Healings is one of the programs that you'll be enjoying today.
So everybody has their baggie, and they've taken all their stuff out of their larger baggie. So you have your birdhouse tissue paper, brush, bowl, glue, and your directions. So I want you to look at these two colors of tissue paper. The reds are your warm colors, reds, orange, and yellows, and your blues are your cool colors. But I want you to think about, look at these colors and see which ones you're attracted to. I didn't put this out for the people here, but in the packet for the people on the video, they're gonna have two more that have patterns on it. So I want you, everybody's gonna get these here, but I just wanted to start out with these warm and cool colors to just kind of introduce you, and we're gonna go over the first layer, just practicing putting some of the tissue paper on, and then I'm going to hand you this and you can start looking at some of the patterns on here, some of the things you may want to cut out and stick on there, but it's easier to do the patterns on top of the solid colors. You don't have to cover the whole thing, it's up to you. So the first thing you're going to do on your directions, which you're going to take your glue and you're going to open it, and you're going to squeeze a very healthy amount into your bowl, and you're going to pick one side of your birdhouse and you're going to go over the top. Now again, you don't have to cover the whole thing, it's up to you what you want to cover. And then you're going to take some of your tissue paper and you're going to put it on. You have to go under the tissue paper and over the tissue paper, and you'll notice on your directions it says you don't want to rub it, you want to stroke over the top or it will rip it. Under and over. And one of the reasons it's important to put the gloss medium over the top, because these will fade. Your tissue paper fades a lot. You don't want to be so exact so you stop having fun, because this is really about having fun. And if you start needing to get precise, it's not going to be fun anymore. And it can go, now Kate, before you put that, and it's going to overlap, you have to go over it again. Okay. Now you can do a little less, kind of a little less glue. Okay. So if I'm going to put another piece of tissue paper and I'm going to go over the top like this, it's going to have to be head over the top. You can cut it if you want. I just don't want you to.
Only one side?
You can do the other side. You can do whatever you want, actually. This is really the only important thing about this whole process of what you can do that it won't look great, is if you don't put the glue under and over. We did this with the Hoag staff, and they were like kindergartners that had been punished for using too much glue. I had to go around squeezing more glue on everybody's project. Now it's all going to dry clear, so don't worry about that. Sometimes you don't want to talk about your feelings, and sometimes it's just fun to decorate something or do something where you don't talk about your feelings. I think my feeling with Time to Nest, which is the name of this project, is that by choosing the colors, you're really choosing your inside colors, what you're feeling that day, what you're attracted to. And so it's taking the inside feelings and expressing them on the outside without any stress about it. And I know, Rachel, you had brought up about your sister who passed away and how she and you did a lot of art together.
She was inspiration. She was very unique and loving, caring. Yes, I mean, creating and doing this art for the past 8 years really helped me a lot to cope with my pain. I mean, every time I was sad, I was able to come and bring my emotion into my paint. So some of my painting, it's just a figure. I do a lot of women figure, and I think it's have to do with my sister. You know, I do two things. So it's my sister and me. You know, so it's helping me to feel like she's still with me. I think because I was so much involved in her last 3 weeks of her life, I didn't leave her. I volunteer with all my heart and being to be with her and hospice her where she wanted to be. It's in her house. You know, I think when it happened, and I literally told her, it's okay, you can go. She said she's always gonna be with me and she's gonna look after me. Through time, I kind of realization that I have to live without her, but she's in me, with me. A lot of time I was talk to her, and it's easy. And when I do art, I know she's with me too. I navigate actually my art towards what she loves, or colors and stuff like that. So.
She's in you.
Yeah.
Your sister had you, and Marie, you're being a social worker at Ho. What if people don't have anybody?
I think
What's the role does Ho play in that?
I think we become part of their family. You know, we are their support. It might be connecting them to resources in the community or the cancer center, or letting them know about these art classes so that there are other ways to process their feelings, not just through talking.
Yeah.
I think it's it's also grieving that part of that previous life that you had, and coming to that acceptance that maybe it's going to look a little bit different for some time, and just remembering to ask for that help and receiving the help. I think receiving the help is the hardest part, not just for caregivers, but also, patients themselves. And so advocating for them and making sure that as a caregiver, they take care of themselves. Like when you're on an airplane, you always have to take care of your own oxygen mask before you put it on your family members, because if you don't take care of yourself first, you can't be there for your loved ones. And it's really important to take care of your well-being, your self-care, asking for help even as the caregiver, even if it's doing these projects together with your loved one. I think that's so important, to be able to process what you're going through together through art, not just for the patient but as the caregiver.
So people, you can use phrases, it takes a village work, but that's why you need support in so many forms and levels.
Yeah.
That's where I think the art comes in, or
Yeah,
the
wonderful,
doctors,
yeah.
or their friends or family. I mean, my doctor at Hope, I just loved him. He was like a father figure.
Yeah.
Such a nice man, and I just trusted him.
Yeah.
I had such trust in him. I mean, he would go to bat for me. If I had a question, he'd call the radiologist. I mean, he just would.
Right.
So, I think some people just have different capacities. And I know there are other people that will say their doctors are, they're a little quieter, or they're more, I know one cardiologist that people will refer to him how he's always looking at his computer. He doesn't look at the patient. And that leaves the patient feeling, are you hearing me? Do
Right.
you see me? You know, when you talk to somebody, you want them to engage with you.
Right.
Right? You don't want them to be typing.
Yeah, I hate that.
You know? And he's known for this. Yet he's a very good oncologist, but
Right.
a lot of people leave there and will share their feelings if they don't really feel that they're being heard or
Right.
being seen.
I had a job in my in my family somehow. My mother wouldn't take aspirin, and she had cancer. So you can imagine the fight. And my dad was in denial of all kinds of things, and he just hung on. My mother passed away, and then he just said, "Okay, it's my time." So I had to kind of play kind of a different role than I'd anticipated, which, generally speaking, I had to encourage my mom to, and I'll be getting to Kate in a minute, but I had to encourage my mom to take things, and that were more powerful than an aspirin at Hoag Memorial, so it was and so when it came to Kate, though, it was kind of like a total shock. First of all, because she's so healthy, athletic, and doing all these things, and to have something like this come up, you know, was really, you could just see it in her eyes and her face. I mean, she reacted to it. And so I tried, but to kind of, because a lot of her friends didn't really come forward. And we knew that this was a stage 1, under stage 1. It was something that could be taken care of, and we just wanted to work with that and take care of it. So with the doctors that she mentioned at Hoag and their team that were going to do something for us, that I had total confidence in what they were doing. And so that helped me a lot, to continue to be positive in this whole thing. I'm the son she never had, or child that she never had, and I need a lot of care, let me tell you. And
Total agreement.
oh yeah, I went panicked. I lost one of my favorite hats this week, and I couldn't find it. I was calling people, did I leave it at your house? And of course, it was in the trunk of my car. It finally dawned on me that I put it there. I think being positive around somebody is the only thing you can really do, because you're not there with the doctors doing what they do.
You know, there's that period of knowing what to believe. It's like you don't want to get your hopes up too high.
Right.
You want to be positive, and he's saying, "Oh, you're going to be fine," and I'm saying, "You don't know that."
Right.
So it's again, I'm going to say it's a balancing act, but I think definitely having a positive caregiver person around made it much easier for me.
And especially with me being in the medical field, but I didn't find out until like the last minute, because they didn't want to burden the
your wedding.
family.
Right.
For any of that. So it's like I always felt like if I would have known earlier, would I have been able to give more advice. So going through like all of those feelings, and then kind of also like when I was there, it's exactly like what you said. It's like, what do I do to like make it easier for my father and easier for the family? But yeah, it is kind of like that balancing act of not really knowing what to do, and then also just with the adjustment of like feelings, and when you are doing that stuff, just kind of like how to manage and deal with it. And definitely going back to saying having that support system, like you definitely truly need it. You truly need it.
I agree. It really is a balancing act of knowing how much to do and when to step back. Yeah.
And since women tend to do more of these kinds of things than men, I'm interested to see what people think about where men get fed like this. I mean, are men going to be? Are you seeing that men are interested in
Really interested?
Because they don't have that community sense. That
you know, Mark's like, we're not going to do we're not doing the boxes, and, you know, we're doing birdhouses. You know, they love I mean, so far I haven't had anybody from 6 years old on, and I've probably done it with maybe 200 people now. Yeah. And then some of them are very particular about, I do some with tiles, some with words, some with stenciling, and some people are like this one engineer guy, he used every single mini tile that I had, you know, put them all. I mean, everybody, who doesn't love birds? I mean, the last one we did where people are going, well, I picked Easter colors, and I said, and you just happen to be wearing them. You know.
Our art programs are really catered towards you, so please let us know in your evaluations how we could improve or change things, and we would love to hear your feedback.
So everybody got a evaluation in your packet with a stamped addressed envelope. We'd really appreciate your feedback, and we want to thank everybody for coming, and hope you sign up for not only this video but the next video, and keep coming back. Artistic Healing.